This is the Marmars. Whenever I mention the Marmars, the first question everyone asks is, what's a Marmar? Well, the name refers back to my childhood affliction, stuttering. I used to joke that if I ever had a son, I was going to name him Marmar, as in Marmar Marston. It wasn't the greatest band name, but it could have been a lot worse. Just a couple years before, the drummer and I were both playing in a band called Bald Max and the X-Lax. The Marmars were basically a college band, like 100,000 other college bands. Although eventually we did finance a single, Down on My Knees.
This time's gonna be different, 'cause I'm not saying sorry again. Try to understand, things have gone wrong just the same. This time's gonna be different, I'm not saying sorry again. Here I am again, what can I do? I've got two holes in my jeans, getting on my knees to you. I got down on my knees, I got down on my knees, I got down on my knees to you. You're always the one who tells all those lies. If it's always your fault, come I apologize. Here I am again, what can I do? I've got two holes in my jeans, getting on my knees to you. I got down on my knees, I got down on my knees, I got down on my knees to you. Try to understand, things have gone wrong just the same. This time's gonna be different, I'm not saying sorry again. Here I am again, what can I do? I've got two holes in my jeans, I'm getting on my knees to you. I got down on my knees, I got down on my knees, I got down on my knees to you.
The Marmars got together in the fall of 1980 at Occidental College. There were several bands on campus that year, and on any given afternoon, you might find one of them playing outside in front of one of the dorms. What you're seeing right now is one of those informal afternoon concerts with members of 3 different Oxy bands playing. The Phlaix, which was the other band I was in at the time, an all-original power pop group, Smokewood, which was a bluegrass and jazz band, and of course, the Marmars.
Ancients are the love, love was pedestrian. I know you're out there, rage in your eyes and your megaphone. And all is forgiven, mad dog surrender. How can
driving force behind the Marmars was Dave Foley, an exchange student from Carlisle, England. He's the blonde guy playing the Stratocaster here. Dave found out that I played bass in a band and had access to rehearsal space, which was a prime commodity on campus. He gave me a tape of some songs he had written over the years, and being a sucker for anything sung in an English accent, I told him I'd help him get a band together. The next person to join the band was Dan Cole, the drummer. Dan and I were good friends and had played in a number of different bands over the last couple years. The last Marmar was Jim Cage, a keyboard player who lived down the hall from me the year before. Without a single rehearsal, we sent out flyers advertising the band for dances and parties. In total, I think we played maybe 10 or 12 shows. The most memorable was a 7 a.m. assembly on Valentine's Day at Van Nuys Junior High. While we were struggling through Good Girls Don't and Prove It All Night, the girls there showered us with little candy hearts and chocolate kisses. As I recall, Jim got it pretty good right between the eyes with a tiny Abba Zaba. I wish I could say that all our shows were that memorable, but most of the time it was just a bunch of drunk college students gyrating rhythmically as the Marmars plied their tribal rhythms. As the end of the school year approached, we decided to take all the money we had earned as a dance band and use it to record and press a single. We went into the studio with 2 songs Dave had written, and I produced the recording. Our engineer was a guy named Arnie Goodman, who, as you'll tell, was a real barrel of laughs, sort of a cross between Magnum P.I. and Marty Allen. I think we recorded the whole thing in 2 afternoons. The first song on the record, Down on My Knees, was sung by Dave. But on the other side, Dan sang the lead vocal. The song was called So Glad You Stayed to See the Show, a title that was so long it barely fit on the record label.
I used to be such a lonely individual, and all of my friendships were purely residual. The memory of the life I used to lead, the empty shell of something that my mind no longer needs. So glad you caught the show. You used to be just some doting perfect lover, but now I've found what only time can uncover. You really had to work when I was low. You really should have left me when I threatened each day to go. So glad you stayed to see the show. Yes, I'm so glad you stayed to see the show. Yes, I'm so glad you stayed to so glad, so glad, so glad. I'm so glad you stayed. Time was our stroke just to prove love had no value. So self-absorbed, I quite lost sight of you. The cards are played so close against my chest are spread across the table, and it all feels for the best. So glad you helped me show my hand, and I'm so glad you stayed to see the show. Yes, I'm so glad you stayed to see the show. And it's all come tonight, and you've gotta be so close by me, so close by me, so close by me, so close by me, so close by me.
We're gonna break out of this city. My people leave behind. Looking for redemption, but that's the type of life I find. I'm tired of losing danger. Don't thank for what I do. I'm sure I must be someone. Now I'm gonna find out who. Why don't you ask them? Well, they expect from you. Why don't you tell them you are gonna do? You get so lonely. Maybe you gotta wait. If you want me, you got something to say. Do anything you wanna do. Come on. Do anything you wanna do.
As it is with the Beatles, there's very little to add about the Marmars that hasn't already been said before. However, unlike the Beatles, virtually nothing has ever been said about the Marmars. Still, the Marmars are a happy memory for me, and I am sure for the other members of the band. I even discovered that one of my wife's friends was one of those girls at Van Nuys Junior High, and now the Marmar record rests comfortably in her jukebox. What you're hearing now is the last song we ever played together, May 5th, 1980. For Dan and I, it was sort of a tradition to end a show with this song. It's Do Anything You Want to Do by Eddie and the Hot Rods. For all the people who played in those 100,000 college bands, it's a fitting motto, if not an epitaph. In a lot of ways, it's too bad we had to graduate.